Okay, guys, so let's continue with our class. So, um, after shooting, and we've imported our pictures to Light Capture One. For some of us that are rooted in using Lightroom, what you can do with Lightroom, you can do with Capture One as well. But I have found Capture One more convenient for me than Lightroom, and since I've been using since I've been using Capture One, I think finding it more enjoyable than Lightroom. But basically, both of them can treat your photo better. So, what I do with Capture One is purely or simply color correction. You can see the before and the after of the picture, the before and the after of the picture. So, what I do here is to correct color and brightness, light and color correction. That's basically what I do here on Capture One. There are people who use it for more than that, but to me, that's okay for me. Whatever other editing that I want to do, I will take it to Photoshop and complete it there. So let's continue and see how to adjust your picture when it comes to Capture One. So I've already edited this one, so I'm not going to use it as an example for this class. So let me simply pick another image and then you can go. So let me pick this image and then you can start. What I, in most cases, the first thing I try to adjust is my shadow from this high dynamic range panel. So I will first of all adjust my shadows, because when I'm shooting this image I tried not to use as much light as possible because she's wearing white and I don't want the white to lose much details because of brightness. So I try to use cool light setup so that the white will not be too blown up, so that it won't lose much details. So the first thing we will do, like I said, is to increase the shadows, not as much as 100%, but something around 25-30, depending on how dark the picture is initially. But if it is too dark, well, ordinarily you want to shoot a very dark picture and now try to blow it up on the Capture One. So it's quite you do everything minimally, because your picture, your edited picture, should actually not look too different from your original image that you get from the from shooting. So, and after that, the next thing I try to do is increase the black as well. Sometimes, depending on the picture, I may have to reduce the black, but here now I'm increasing the black by around 5 or 6. 7 is okay, that's okay for me. And then my exposure, just a little bit, I'll increase that a little bit. And brightness, not much. Then saturation a little bit, that's too much, so 8. So I'm okay with that. And because I'm not trying to blow it, I'm not trying to make it look too different from the before picture. You can see the before and the after. And the next thing I have tried to adjust is the highlights. Sometimes I reduce the highlights, sometimes I blow up the highlights. But for this picture, I'm not going to blow up the highlights because I want to retain the qualities on the clothes. So I'm going to the details on the clothes. So I'm going to bring it down a bit. And then the whites, just to increase the just to make the white look a little bit pure. So I'm going to just add a little bit of white to it, and then I think that's okay. So now the next thing I do, I come to this clarity. I try to add a little bit of sharpness to my image, and that's what I do here with structure and clarity. So when you are increasing the structure, you are increasing the sharpness of the picture, and when you are increasing the clarity, it's going to increase the it's going to make the picture look a bit more clearer. You can see what it does here. You can see. So you can see, and if you see, you can see that it's adding a kind of faded look on it. So but here I'm going to put it around 10 or 11, so that's okay. For my structure, I mostly take it to around 18 and 20, which is okay for me. So then the haze, I try to increase the haze as well, in order to remove every form of haze that I may have on the picture, kind of light glare, light over glare that I may have on the picture. So I try to remove it, not as much as yeah, not too much anyway, but you can see that's too much. So I put it around 10, put it around 10, so that's okay. And the background, so levels here, you adjust everything. You see, I increase the level or anything, you see what it does to the picture. So I'm going to reset it. So but this background is supposed to be green, but because of the way it's short, you can see there is a kind of introduction of red on it. So I'll come to the red levels, so and I'm going to pull from the middle here a bit. So you can see I've removed the green by some percentage, and then here as well, but not too much. You can see what happens when I pull it too much. So the goal is not to pull it too much. The goal is just to pull it a bit, just a bit by bit, not too much. So I will encourage you to play around with the slider as much as possible. You can see if I draw it like this, you can see I'm drawing towards the red, so and that's bad for the picture. So I want to try as much as possible to maintain the color of the picture. So 3 here and then -2 here, that's okay for me. You can see our before and then the after, our before and then the after. So you can see that. So and after that, if I need to increase if I need to adjust any of the colors by separation, like if there is need for me to adjust any of the colors, like if I want to increase the saturation of the green, so I can come back to this color panel, and then you can see the basic color the basic color panel. So if there's any color here that I want to adjust, I can simply look at the closest color here. If I want to increase the green, you can see I click on the green, and this will affect only the green colors. So affect only the green colors. You can see I can design or increase the green color depending on whatever I want, and I can change the look of the green if I want. You see, so that is what hue does. So I don't want to do that. I'll put that one back to 0, but I actually want to increase the saturation of the green just to make it pop a little bit more. And then do I need to do anything else here? If I need to do anything, if I want to be so specific, I can simply use this picker tool. So I'll pick it and then click on the color and then drag. So I can either drag it towards here or towards here. So but I don't want to do that now. So I can easily reset it. So I can reset it and then come back to my green and then just add a little bit of saturation to the green, and then my yellow, I want to take it out a bit. So just a bit, not much, just a bit. And the orange as well. Let me see if I try to increase it and see. Okay, I think I'm cool because she has a kind of dark skin, so I think reducing it a bit is cool. So you can see the difference. This is our before and this is our after. Our before and then our after. You can see how much difference we've made using the CaptureOne. So there are a lot of other things we can do here, but basically most times I don't do more than that for many of my pictures, except if I want to use it to color grade. That is when I come to this color balance panel. I want to use it to color grade. So if I want to, let's say I want to put some orange in my mid-tone, so I pull this towards the orange color. So every mid-tone color will be affected by the orange color. See, so I can do that. You see, that is, you see, when I remove the orange, this one removes the orange, removes the color, and from brightness to from dark to brightness, like the saturation part of it, and this is like the vibrance part of it. So you can introduce any color that you want into any part of the color of the picture. So shadow, but basically if I'm not doing color grading, I don't use this panel, and because I'm just doing color correction now, so I'm not going to use this panel as much as that. I'm not even going to use it at all, so I'm going to reset it back to 0. There are a lot of tutorials you can watch on the internet for CaptureOne to really understand the features of this application, because the goal of this tutorial is not to teach CaptureOne but to show you how I edit my pictures and to the tools I use most times. So most times I use this exposure panel and I use this color panel. I basically don't use more than these two. So everything I want, I have it right here. So if I want to adjust my curve as well, the curve is here as well, but in most cases I use the curve to adjust my brightness. I put it in luma. I don't use RGB. So I put it in luma, and then I just, you see, I don't increase as much as that. I just a little bit, just to balance up the exposure. That's what I do. A little bit, just a little, not much, not something much at all. So you can see our before and after, our before and our after. And once I'm done doing this, I can easily copy the effects, or everything I've done on this picture. I can easily copy it here, and then apply it onto another picture easily. You see, so it's very easy for you to copy that and then apply it onto another picture. So it reduces your stress and increase your workflow. Reduces your workflow. Sorry, it reduces your workflow. It increases the number of work you can do within a very small amount of time. So you can easily copy that. You can select as many pictures as possible at a time, like selecting more pictures and then apply it to all of them at once. You can see. So that's 6 pictures selected at once. I can select the entire catalog and then apply it to it, and it will do that perfect job. And for pictures like this, because I shot everything under the same light condition, under the same camera settings, under the same everything was under the same condition, so it is easy for me to simply copy and paste it onto every one of it if I like that. But in case I need to do a bit of different editing on both on the pictures, then I might not want to copy and paste. But if you are editing a lot of pictures and you really want to, and everything is under like under the same settings, under the same condition like that, you can easily copy and paste your setting on all the pictures at the same time. So it's easy like that. You just copy and paste, and boom, everything you work there can easily be pasted here, and it will give you the same results. So, and once that is done, the next thing that we need to do is to export the picture. Exports. So there are various means by which you can export your picture. If you are not doing multiple editing at the same time, probably you want to export them and then edit it later. Then you can select every image that you edited, like from here to here, and then you right click easily, or you come here to export. So if you right click, then you come to export. So export with previous settings, export original files. If you export original files, it means it's not going to apply all the settings on it. If you export with previous settings, it means that there is a settings you've already used before and you want to edit the picture with the previous settings. But export is what I use the most, ordinary export. So I'll just click one now. Let me just click one and then click export, and then so it will bring us to this panel. Here on this panel you have several recipes. You have several recipes that you can select from. So because I'm exporting to process on the Photoshop, so in most cases select JPEG, full size, full quality, everything, because I don't want the quality to be reduced in any format. So I select this, and once I select it, I mark it, and then subfolder. I already have a place where all my pictures are saved, so this is the place. So if you don't have one before, you can simply create it here, but I already have one. So subfolder, so I'm going to save it with, let me save it with tutorial class. So all the pictures that I'll edit and I'm going to export now is going to be saved under this tutorial class, and then other things I leave it the way it is, and I come to quality, I leave it at 100%. So you can change the format if you like. You can export as DNG, digital negative, JPEG quick proof, PNG, Photoshop file, or TIFF. So I'm going to edit. If I want to edit with a higher quality, I'll either export with TIFF or PSD, because with PSD I have the option to change it to 16 bits if I'm exporting with PSD, and or TIFF to 16 bits. But I don't usually use these options for picture that will be posted online and stuff like that, because it's a total waste of space, and it's because it's quite heavy. It's always very heavy, so I don't use it for images that will be posted online and stuff like that. But if I have other requirements for probably, let's say, for billboards and stuff like that, I won't use JPEG to export, because I know they are going to use it to print on a large format, so they need a lot of quality that the pictures will not be breaking. So I will simply use any of these two options, and when I'm saving as well, I will save with any of these two options. So, but for now, I'm going to export with JPEG, and then the quality I put it at 100. The higher the quality, the higher the output. So if you don't want to use much space and if you don't need much quality, so you can reduce the quality. So ICC profile, just leave it the way it is, because these days what the internet recognizes is sRGB. So just leave it the way it is there, And when you get to Photoshop, make sure that your color profile on Photoshop as well is sRGB. That makes it easier for you so that you won't be dealing with interpretation of different colors. So leave the resolution as 300 and the scale at 100. So once done like that, you can instruct it here to, after export, to open it immediately with Photoshop. So if I want, with any other application, so if I want to open it with any other application, I can simply click here. Like presently my Photoshop 2021 is on, so if I want it to open with Photoshop 2021, I can just simply click open with Photoshop 2021 after export. So if I click it here now, so, and I can use that because I'm not exporting too many pictures, because I'm exporting just only one image. If I'm exporting many pictures, I will not use open with Photoshop 2021. So once that is done, I click export, and then I wait for it, reading this slider, for it to finish exporting. So according to the estimate, it says about 10 seconds left. So sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's not as much as, it's not as long as that. But so we wait for it until it's exported. Okay, that's it. That's it. And you can see activity is opening with Photoshop 2021. So photo viewer, you see, how do you want to open this file? So it's still asking me how do I want to open it. So let me just look for Photoshop 2021 and click, since it's not doing it automatically. So it's not here. Wow, what happened? I don't know what happened. I don't know why it is not opening with Photoshop 2021 immediately. Let me just click 2022 and see what happens. So I click 2022 and then let me see what happens. Very funny. It's actually using the 2021 that is opening, as it's opened before, to open the picture. So you can see reading the JPEG format and loading. It takes time, so you have to be patient with it. So and boom, it's opened. It's opened. So, and that's it. Thank you. If you have any question, please let me know. Drop your questions and then I'll try as much as possible to answer them. Before that time, see you.